Hello, viewers. I'm Radcon White, host of Rad's Rant. In this episode, we advocate for a Canadian invention over one from America, that being the Robertson screw versus the Phillips screw. As any boomer would be aware, there was a time when the predominant screw was the ubiquitous and totally inadequate slotted type. It still exists, and how annoying it is to discover such enclosed with an item that needs to be screwed to the wall. Improvements to the slotted screw were the Robertson and Phillips. In 1908, P.L. Robertson invented in Canada the square drive Robertson screw. 24 years later, the Phillips cross drive screw was developed in the U.S. So why is inferior Phillips the default screw type in America? Recall the match in the 80s between Beta and VHS. Beta was better, but VHS had marketing scale. Though the Robertson brand dominated in Canada, it failed in the large U.S. market due to P.L. Robertson's refusal to sell licensing rights. The burgeoning car industry, led by Henry Ford, preferred the Robertson screw but could not risk disruptions to the supply chain. Hence, he went with Phillips, whose license was aggressively shared. As a result, Phillips became the default screw in America. A Canadian might say, "Too bad for you, you arrogant bastards." But it was not a choice driven by vanity, and though Americans continue to use an inferior products, Canadians also suffer by association. American influence around the globe has made Phillips the dominant brand for products shipped to North America, and that's why, even though the superior Robertson brand is the default in Canada, Chinese goods arrive with Phillips screws. But is America so rigid that they can't correct the mistake and adopt Robertson as the default brand due to its many advantages? Probably, the arrogant bastards. Most appreciated is that the square drive allows for a screw to stay in place on the driver tip, so only one hand is needed to drive a screw in cramped or hard to reach places. Also, maximum torque can be applied without stripping the head or slipping off. There are now several screw head types, but Robertson is by far the default brand in Canada for most applications. We as Canadians should be grateful to P.L. Robertson for his invention. My personal fealty to the brand may also be influenced by the fact that I have only one degree of separation from the inventor. In the early 80s, my octogenarian neighbor told me he had met the man. But it is the superiority of the product that really has me hooked, and it is a shame it is not the default international brand. Now, with the U.S. choosing to isolate itself while Canada embraces the global marketplace, is it not time for a change? Say goodbye to Phillips and welcome to Robertson to the international stage.